All right, welcome back to Survivor China. After a contentious episode, bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
I feel like I've cooled on it a little bit more. I feel like I've cooled off. Maybe tensions were
Sometimes you need a
high.
week to cool down.
It's true. Sometimes you need a week to just cool off. Tensions are high. Maybe it's not still overly keen on just the general like vibe of grossness and negativity and hatred and despair that the season is providing, but maybe
Oh.
if they get rid of some of the contentious individuals, that'll go away. But I don't know. Jean Robert is sticking around. He's sticking around. And,
yeah.
so the Jean Robert of it all.
Yeah.
It's really something. But Sharia got voted out last time.
Yeah. Kind of lost in the chaos of it all. It's like you're not gonna remember this episode as the episode Sharia got voted out. You're gonna remember it as the John Robert Courtney clash and what other? There was a bunch of stuff that happened.
There was like the
whole James Idol shenanigans.
The James Idol shenanigans.
Where they're like John who were like, okay, we're not gonna throw anymore because we're like we were spooked by Sharia's lack of reaction and Frosty's coldness. No pun intended.
Frosty's being real frosty to us, yeah.
And then it went into, okay, now James, you're gonna get this idol. We're gonna give you this idol, and you want to throw now just go and throw. So it's this reversal there that ultimately they couldn't throw it because they just bombed the food eating challenge.
Denise couldn't swallow the food. Man, she's a lunch lady and she can't finish the food. What does that say? What does that say to the youth of America?
Her expertise,
her area of expertise, swallowing down the slop that they feed you in the lunchroom.
Yeah, if this was like earlier Survivor, I could see that like unironically being a reason that they vote her out. It's like you're a lunch lady. Will you put you in that position because it's food? You're supposed to come through.
Yeah,
this is your profession here. We can't count on you.
So James had the idol for nothing. I think Todd's like wheeling and dealing and making moves and stuff. Like that's why I gave him MVP last time because I think he's just a fun element to play, a fun character and a fun player. He's just fun to watch. Yeah. Even if he did sort of screw up the whole they screwed up the whole finding the hidden idol.
He didn't stay frosty.
He did not stay frosty whatsoever. And yeah, basically like half that team knows that he has the immunity idol now, so
yeah, but like he at least like Frosty didn't want to know, but then he at least was the one to go and tell a couple other people. He was like leveraging that information so they would trust him more, but
right. So
all right, well let's see what happens next.
Let's get into it.
As always, click the link in the description to see the highlights of our reaction and come back afterwards for the discussion.
Okay.
All right. There you have it.
All right, well.
There you have it. Jamie's voted out. Survivor China.
Yeah.
What you think?
It was a pretty good episode.
I thought it was great.
Guess,
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
I thought it was an exciting episode. Yeah.
It was a very exciting episode. I don't know if it's quite like Survivor Star, but it's up there. It's been one of the best episodes so far, I think. I think we had a little bit of everything, a lot of strategy, a lot of interpersonal stuff. That was good and interesting and entertaining. Yeah, we had the merge. I mean, that happened. That was a big deal going on here.
Yeah.
And yeah. There you go.
So, I mean, we started off with how James now has two idols. And then he left with the wooden slab there that was not the idol. And then Eric picked it up, and I guess just gave it right to Jamie. And they're like, it looks like an idol here. We saw that. So they thought that James had two of them, and there was a third one. Like they're just multiplying. There's so many idols here. So like they know James has two of them, and they're like, oh, I think this is an idol too.
I'm not sure why they would assume that, because like, he probably panicked. But it's like,
yeah, why would you? As if someone would panic and just drop
for like hours.
The most valuable immunity idol.
He left He left it there for hours. Why would he do that? That makes no sense to
And she
me.
knows there's two sides to it. What makes you think there would be two idols on that thing? Like, there's got to be one on each side. You know, like
Yeah, I mean,
James has one of them, and then this is also an idol that he just left. He's like, oh, but I've got so many idols that drop one in a panic.
yeah, that's the thing that's kind of confusing to me because it's like, granted, she hasn't seen the one with the writing, so she wouldn't know what the real one looks like. But at the same time, you know that he has two. You know that there's two sides to yours, and that one is missing
Yeah.
from that side. There's only one. So why? What's to stop you from guessing? Oh, maybe he might have the one from the other tribe. You know, the tribe that he was, on
Yeah,
originally.
yeah, right. To think that that is also an idol is you're thinking like, what are there, four idols then? There's like two on
Yeah,
each thing on either side of
yeah.
the sign. And
It's like I guess it's like you have limited information, so you don't necessarily know. But like to me, that just seems like
yeah,
a huge leap to all of a sudden make. I mean, I think assuming one of them's the idol because she knows some of the clues, right?
mm,
But
yeah,
assuming that the thing on the ground that he just left lying in the open is an idol is just like I don't even know where to begin with that. Like to me, you need to collect more evidence before you can make that assumption. But
yeah. You got to go ask around town and investigate, gather
yeah, but
evidence.
instead she just plays it. She just plays it
But
just right out in the open like that and embarrasses everyone.
yeah, and now I know why in the beginning Jeff made a weird point of saying in like the previously on, he was like, which was clearly marked with congratulations on it.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah,
why
that's why
did
he
you
made
throw
that.
that in? It
Why did
sounded
you?
so unnatural to just say that.
Yeah,
Just so everybody knows, this is what they should look like. But yeah, you would think an immunity idol would have some sort of signifier to tell you that it definitely is one.
yeah.
But I guess if they thought he dropped it in a panic, maybe it came with something that did say it was an idol. You could reasonably
Yeah.
think that maybe.
Hmm.
He just left the most valuable part there, laying
Right, but
around.
then why would you assume because he has two, then he must have left the one there? Like, what did you do with the other one then? You think he had two from the previous camp, but he just left one here, or what is the other part then?
No, that's what I was thinking. They thought there
Yeah,
was actually two idols there. Like he
yeah,
took one from
which is just
there, and then
insane.
the,
Which
the
is
other side is
yeah,
also an idol, and he left that. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, but I like how James wrapped that thing up. Like, oh, if they
He wrapped it like
if they see a
crazy.
bundle of clothes tied with a belt and string, they won't look
Yeah,
in here. This will
yeah. They
keep
won't
them
look in
away.
here.
You know,
Yeah, and then they
they'll
did
just say,
that.
"Oh, this is
So
just a bundle of clothes tied together with a belt, like a
and
safe."
they and then they did. They rooted through it and like I don't even know how they wrapped it back up again without him noticing.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's like that actually kind of draws more attention to it. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, do not look in here. You just
yeah.
might as well have that big label on there. It's like secret, valuable thing.
Secret compartment. Do not open.
Yeah,
Do not tap 3 times and twist.
yeah.
But
So, yeah, and then we also had Todd. Um, we had a few moments from Todd here about how he's basically
yeah,
running the show, and like, you know, Courtney wants John Robert out, and he's like, he's one of my numbers. Deal with it, bitch.
yeah. They
Uh,
deal with it, bitch. And like that's like everyone's attitude toward the whole time. They're just like, you just get put up with him. Just
mhm,
put up with him already. And she's like, well, she's like, I can't feel like. She's like, I don't say anything to him because I feel like I can't. But like, but then when I'm with you and I'm complaining, none of you say anything against him. So it's like, what am I? How am I supposed to feel? And they're like, yeah, well, I understand. And they still don't say anything bad about him. They're
mhm.
like, no, I agree. What do you agree?
It was like clear he's. I mean,
So it's
after
like,
we
yeah,
saw John Robert threaten Todd, and
yeah,
he made it clear that he was like,
yeah,
well, he thinks I'm going to the final three with him, but I'm gonna be ready to cut him whenever. So it's
yeah.
like he's definitely not opposed to getting him out. He just purely wants their numbers to stick together
Yeah,
until the
until it's
last,
necessary. Yeah,
until you have to. But obviously,
it's like,
they're saying that because obviously it's more beneficial for them. Courtney
yeah,
doesn't want to do that because John Robert they're actively at odds, and then even more so now he's like he just went out and said that to tribal council too. Like,
yeah,
um, so there's that whole part of it, but they're like
yeah,
it's just the numbers. They have their numbers, and they want the keep it that way, and so they did.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Amanda and James were both kind of talking about how they're kind of sick of her and how she won't vote with the pack. But hey, she ended up voting with the pack this time. So how about that?
right.
All their complaints about her, yeah, she's a flaky little skinny bitch or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn, everyone's calling her a bitch. So,
But we had
yeah,
Jamie talking to Todd, where it's like, "You keep me one more round. I think I know who has the idol."
yeah.
And
And Todd's like, uh
he's like, "She's got to play
huh.
catch up here."
You see the bicycle in the back, the little bicycle in the back.
Yeah.
Got to play catch up.
If you've been watching since episode 1, you would know everybody gives me their clues, and everybody tells me about their idols. It all
Yeah,
comes through
basically,
me.
yeah. Everyone just comes to me for some reason. He just has a trusting face, I guess. Also, apparently, back to Courtney. Courtney and Frosty are like a thing now, I guess. Apparently,
Yeah.
they just sort of told us like they're like, yeah, he's snuggling right up to him.
Yeah,
I
we
was like,
just
"Oh,
we
yeah."
just cut to a shot of them like cuddled up, and
Yeah. I was
okay,
like, okay,
that's what's
that's the
happening.
thing now.
Everybody needs some Frosty time every now and then.
Everybody needs to get a little
Frosty.
Frosty. Yeah. I kind of like PG's like stuff in this episode. She's trying to sort of figure things out more in terms of where they lie. Just because they're in a weird position. What with James kind of being on their team, but they can't really trust him all that much.
I found that very
And
kind of odd that she really she seemed to like actually think that he could be
legitimately
with them.
think that he was. Yeah, I couldn't figure that out either. I couldn't
After
make
you
heads or
held
tails
him
of it.
hostage against his will, voted out basically killed his best friend in front of him, and then were like,
Yeah.
well,
you're with us now,
you're with
right?
us now. It's like this classic stories where it's
Yeah.
like these villains like kidnap someone, they kill their friend, and then expect the other person to be loyal to them. Like
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird, but I mean, it's interesting because she's trying to figure out the numbers and everything, and like, well, maybe if Frosty votes with us, then we can.
But then Frosty didn't either.
And Frosty said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home."
So not only did they apparently lose Frosty along the way, but they definitely never had James, and that was pretty clear on our end.
Just
but
beyond apparent.
He was James was so elated at this idea that Jamie would have a fake an idol that's not real.
He was so happy when it got played too. He was.
I gotta tell some people. It's one of
gotta
those things where you have such a great story. Once he
Yeah.
told Todd, he was like, "I don't want Todd to go and tell her, and then I don't get the fun of seeing her reaction. I gotta go tell her." Ooh.
It was pretty fun. I
is.
actually really liked. He was kind of fun in this episode. He was like a lot more chipper than he's been in some of the previous episodes. So that was kind of fun.
I'm telling you, it's literally you see night and day the difference between being kidnapped over and then like forced to be on death row essentially.
Yeah.
To then when he has two idols and like everything's on the up and up. It's like he can live. So yeah, he was very fun in terms of like entertainment, giving us some good one-liners. Todd had some fun one-liners in regards to the strategy and stuff too.
Yeah.
You talked about Jean Robert. You're a student of people. What an interesting
student of people.
So as a poker player, you're just a student of people. Like you get that title along with it. Okay.
Because you study, you don't just because everyone knows the cards. You have to study the man.
That's right. That's right. You got the best reads in the game, Jean Robert. Let's go over to you.
A student of people is just one of the weirdest phrases I think I've ever heard him say. It's up there among the weirder ones. Yeah.
Blatantly jerking Jean Robert off.
Yeah, which he likes. I'm sure he loves that.
He loves it. Stroke the ego.
He loves it. Yeah. He also was
like,
studying
"Oh yes,
those
thank you,
acrobats.
Jeff. I'm glad you acknowledged it. Yeah, I am the most.
Thank you for acknowledging such a thing.
I have the most expertise to give my input on this matter for sure.
We call a specialist Jean Robert or JR for short.
About that more on that that Jean Robert scene was so they were just talking. Him and Todd were just talking, and then in the middle he's like, "Oh, by the way, if you ever cross me or anything happens where I give it out,
you screw me over.
You're personally accountable, and you'll never see a juror go harder against someone in the history of Survivor."
Yeah, I was like,
by the way,
By the way, just so you know.
All right, back to it.
Yeah, it was an intense. First of all, that was an intense scene. It was intensely shot. It was very claustrophobic, despite the fact that
Yeah.
they're in a jungle. It's very claustrophobic. There's like some interesting camera movements going on there. That was like I felt like tense. It felt like a thriller almost, like in how like intense it was, like, in terms of how that was shot. So that was pretty good. Good on the camera work there. Yeah.
Is that a good tactic, you think, to threaten someone like that?
No, that seems like a terrible idea.
It's like, has that ever worked?
Has that ever worked? No, I don't think so. I think that's a terrible idea.
I don't know.
If I
It's just, I feel like naturally, when you threaten someone, like in a game like this where everything's so fluid, like when you hear someone threaten you, it's not like, oh, I gotta fall in line and do exactly what you say and stay loyal to you forever. It's actually like, okay, actually that gives me incentive to not do that because I just to spite you.
Yeah, well, yeah, Todd was like, well, yeah, of course I agreed to everything he said because I had
Exactly.
to, but I don't plan on keeping him around for
It's not like how
for
you harbor
any longer
goodwill.
time than I want. Yeah, I don't want to keep him around for any longer than I have to. So
Yeah, it's not how you harbor goodwill. It's like, I'm gonna hold you personally responsible, not Amanda, because I know you have more power here. So
yeah,
just so you know.
it's just like what an odd thing to do and to
It's
say.
like James was saying in the tribal councils, John Robert, he can't keep his mouth shut.
He keep his mouth shut. Yeah,
He has to openly announce that he's tired. He's like, you can just
yeah.
go lay down. You don't have to go say how you're tired, and you're on the chopping block again. You don't have to announce
You
it.
say that every time. You don't have to announce it. Yeah,
Uh,
good stuff.
and then yeah, they had the Chinese dances and different performances going
Yeah,
on, and
that
then
was
they
pretty cool.
had the Jeff went
The
to their
quiz.
camp to do immunity challenge,
Yeah.
which Frosty won.
Even though he said he has a terrible
Yeah,
memory, he still won.
and then Jamie, yep, Jamie was voted out after whipping out the
After
slab of
whipping that
wood.
out, just that's all it was. It was a plank of wood.
Jeff
Like how
really
Jeff,
milked it. Yeah,
yeah, he did milk it a lot. I was gonna say, wow, he really was like, well, the human immunity idol is
strung
played.
her along as far as he could. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And if this is an immunity idol, it will absolutely do that.
And he hucked it in the fire, except it like bounced
Yeah,
out towards them when he did that.
dude, I would love to see like an alternate version of the edit where he just like takes Jamie and chucks her in the fire. How dare you?
How dare you? This is a sacred place. This is just the spirits
We
of
could
the
just start
fire.
bringing random objects up here and
Yes.
declaring.
It's like a Moses and the Ten Commandments, just like smashes them on the rocks. He
Oh yeah, beats her over the head with her own wooden slab.
smashes the wood on the ground in frustration.
Yeah, beats her over the head with it. Like
Oh, you could do that too. Yeah, like
executes her with
WWE or something.
her
Yeah,
own object.
yeah. Anyway.
James was loving it though. He was trying to hold back his laugh as it was happening.
Yeah.
And then John Robert had a heart attack because he's not like clued in on anything. So he's just like, oh
he didn't
Jesus,
even know there was...
she actually just has an idol because
yeah,
it's very plausible that she would because she had the clue and
right.
on the other tribe.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So. But yeah. So there you go.
There it is. Fun merge episode. Merge episodes tend to be fun. Get everybody together and.
Yep.
There was a lot of moving parts here, It wasn't just like we're stuck in our tribes. This is how it's gonna be. There was like a lot of uncertainty. So PG did say coming into it, it's like we're gonna find out in these first couple votes whether I'm in a powerful position or a shitty position. Yeah. And so far, it seems to be a shitty one.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Judging
pretty bad.
by, not even Frosty voted with them. So
yeah, Frosty's just cold. Cold too. Yeah.
Frosty's been so cold lately, yeah.
It's so cold, except to Courtney. He warms up with her.
Yeah. So who would you give your MVP for the episode?
Man, this is tough. I'm between a couple, but I think I'm gonna give it to James for being just kind of generally the most entertaining this episode. Todd still fun. He still had a lot of points, but seeing this kind of goofier side of James has been kind of fun to see him sort of like getting more involved in like strategy and thinking, planning ahead and stuff too, which has been fun. So
he was just so fun, like a kid excited to tell a story,
Yeah, he had to tell Todd about it, but then he was like, "Wait, I can't." It was almost like a, "Oh, I told him that. Cool.
Yeah.
I can't just tell him. I got to tell
I
everybody.
know.
I got to tell other people too."
We've all been there. It's just a great
Oh,
story.
100%. Yeah, it's a great story.
And then you tell one person, it's like, well, no, I gotta. They're gonna go tell the story to her. I gotta go tell her before he tells her. You know?
Right. It's almost like you're addicted to the entertainment value of like telling the story.
You want the reaction, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give the same delivery of the story, still cheesing about it. Mm-hmm. He's like, I need that.
If she thinks she has board.
If she thinks that's a real immunity idol, I need that to happen. Please let that happen.
Please let that happen. Well, it happened, buddy.
It happened.
So there you go.
And he's gonna be talking about probably the rest of the season. You talked about that moment. He's like,
man, he's gonna talk about that the rest of his life. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's like, remember that. This one time on Survivor, there's this girl.
Yeah. She thought she had the immunity idol.
Still
it was a piece of wood. It was a piece of wood. Yeah.
Yeah, he was fun. The James is like, he's a lot of fun, and then he just has these like little moments here or there where it's like he's just calling like someone a bitch or like.
Yeah, it's just like whoa. Yeah, it was sort of like whoa.
Sneaks him in there every now and then.
Kind of like oh yeah, that was a little like almost like a jump scare. It was like whoa, where'd that come from?
Or like when he was flipping out on the John Hu tribe after they were throwing and stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, "What do you want me to just not answer Jeff's question?" Yes. He was like livid.
Yeah, he was.
And then the next scene, you see him in confessional cheesing it up about this or that.
Yeah, good stuff. But hey, there you go. There's an episode in.
First member of the jury too.
Yeah.
So everybody we got here, we'll be seeing them for the rest of the season to some extent.
Yay. Delightful.
If you enjoyed this video, why don't you go check out our review of Joker 2019.
Okay.
2019 movie.
New
one's coming out soon.
I was just chuckling about freaking. I was going back to my notes and I just saw the name Chicken. So.
Oh yeah, that guy existed.
That man
Damn.
was real. Damn.
That's right.
Scaring everyone in his tribe. Yeah.
Yep. Man, if you could only see now, people so openly giving opinions, like such strong opinions, it would shake him to his core.
He would probably die on the spot. He couldn't stand it.
Like, oh, we never got to see Chicken dealing with Courtney and John Robert, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Never got it.
What would he say about that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You won't catch me saying a thing. All the way to the merge, he would have said not a thing.
It's just a confessional. It's just like him, like complete silence.
I am indifferent on them.
I have no opinion whatsoever.
Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Come back next week for another episode of Survivor China. All right, like the video. Leave a comment, and if you do, be sure to read in the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast, as long as it doesn't have spoilers in it, or if I don't think it's better suited for end of the season review, which we do after every Survivor season as well. All right, and hit that notification bell, and take care of yourself too.
Yeah.
All right.